It's the last time of the year, folks. Final mock draft Monday, posting it on a Tuesday, of the NFL draft season. 7 rounds, no trades. Let's jump right into it. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to TTP Ravens Media, bringing you Ravens content every single day. If you want to see that daily Ravens content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. Hit the notification bell as well if you want to get notified for every single time I upload a brand new video. Again, in this mock draft, this might be my favorite mock draft I've done all year. I got some steals in the first round, I think the second round, the third round, the fourth round. I just kept going. I just feel like I kept getting good players, filling all the holes that I feel like we need to fill. Very happy with this one. As always, let me know your guys' final mock draft. I did this one on PFF. I shifted the thing one notch to the right for public versus PFF board. So still mostly public, but like almost fully public, but barely not public, just because I think PFF, want to give them a little bit of influence on the players available. Other than that, didn't change anything. 7 rounds, no trades. I want to try and kind of speed through it initially and then talk about the draft as a whole. But here we go. Round 1, pick 30. You guys know at this spot, I want to get best player available. There were no elite tackles. I think the best tackle was Jordan Morgan, who, not bad if the Ravens draft him on Thursday. I'm not going to be upset. But Jordan Morgan was the number 1 tackle. The number 1 wide receiver ranked, I think, was Troy Franklin. I would have probably taken A.D. Mitchell if this other player, but A.D. Mitchell wasn't even an option. I don't think Keon Coleman was available either. I went with Kool-Aid McKinstry. If you guys know me, I love watching cornerbacks. I love scouting cornerbacks. I've been very accurate with regards to cornerbacks, especially first-round corners. I was way ahead of the sauce train. Huge Joey Porter Jr. fan last year. This year, Kool-Aid McKinstry is my number 1 corner in the draft, and he fell to 30, and I went with him. Don't know Brandon Stevens' future. Kool-Aid, you could absolutely put him in, right away, and he may struggle a little bit, but like next year, he's going to be an absolute demon, and he was the number 1 cornerback at Alabama for multiple seasons. And he has the athleticism. He has the frame. He's not too old. It's ridiculous that he's not seen as better than what he is, but he fell and I took advantage. Round 2, pick 62. You guys know I'm not huge into we must draft offensive line, but at the same time, guys, if they're there, I will take them. All right? If the guy's there that I think, yeah, this is great value, I will take an offensive lineman. I go back-to-back offensive line, round 2, pick 62 to round 3, 93. Blake Fisher in round 2 out of Notre Dame. Cooper Beebe out of Kansas State at guard in round 3. I think if we get Kool-Aid and then 2 offensive linemen who, again, probably not playing week 1, but by week 7, week 8, week 9, there's a good chance both of those guys could be starting offensive linemen for the Ravens at right guard, or maybe Voorhees wins right guard, and maybe it's left guard and right tackle, but absolutely 2 monster players that I would be very happy with if we drafted, and we got I think a great player in Kool-Aid McKinstry in that first round. So super happy with that so far. Next up, you guys know me. I still believe we need to add to the wide receiver room, and this is the first time I think I've drafted him in any mock drafts. This man is a menace against the Stanford Cardinal. This man is a menace against the Pac-12, and his dad was a menace to the history of the National Football League record books. Brendan Rice out of USC. What do I like about him? He's 6'3". He runs good routes. He catches the football well. He's not the greatest athlete of all time. Neither was his father. But what he can do is he has good enough speed to make the big play, but he can get open on third down. He can get open underneath. He can get open anywhere on the field. Obviously, he was playing with great quarterback play. But I think he would absolutely compete and, try to be wide receiver 3 this year. Obviously, maybe he takes that next step. Maybe we see sometimes these guys that aren't like crazy ultra dominant like a Marvin Harrison in college. They come into the NFL and they get the right scheme, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, wait a minute, this guy's pretty good. Brandon Rice could be one of those guys where it's like, hey, this guy sneaks into the 4th round and puts up wide receiver 3 or wide receiver 2 or numbers in his rookie year. So love his game. Next pick, got another one of my, we'll call him channel favorites. Another one of the, he's not Simi Fehoko level, but I feel like I draft him all the time. Tyke Smith out of Georgia, big fan of his game. Box safety, can get in the slot, can play at the line of scrimmage, can blitz, very good tackler. I think he gives the versatility to, use him as a third safety in certain sets. You want to go into nickel, you can absolutely put Tyke Smith on the field and put Kyle Hamilton wherever you want. You can put Marcus Williams wherever you want, and you can put Tyke Smith wherever you want. Ton of versatility, big hit, SEC football player, and Tom Monken has had to go against him in practice, and I'm sure it wasn't very fun. Next up, I went with, this pick almost reminds me of Sean Wade, but Kalen King out of Penn State. Absolute menace 2 years ago. Struggled a little bit last year. His draft stock drastically fell. Coming into the year, he was seen as, this is one of the best cornerbacks in the country. He was seen as the second best corner in the country coming into the season behind Kool-Aid McKinstry. Did not have a good year at Penn State. Draft stock fell a lot. But, again, we're day 3. We're taking flyers. We're hoping one of these guys pans out. I think Kalen King is worth a swing. Did not mean to make that rhyme, but I'm gonna rock with it. Kalen King is worth a swing. If we draft him, I'm saying that in my reaction video. Next up, round 6, pick 218. Another receiver that I really like, Joshua Cephas out of UTSA. Another big body, very solid after the catch, can high point the football. Not the craziest athlete, not the most dominant player at UTSA, but I think he has the measurables and the traits to, maybe play a little bit on special teams, but, compete, and maybe not this year, but next year, become a wide receiver 5 on the team. Again, when you're looking at round 6 wide receivers, they're not all going to be Puka, right? You're not always going to get Antonio Brown day 3. Like, if you can get a guy that competes, like I think Tylan Wallace was a very good draft pick by the Ravens. He's a special teams player, comes in every once in a while, has made some decent catches in the NFL. Obviously had the walk-off punt return touchdown. But I think Joshua Cephas in round 6, definitely worth another swing. And then the final 2 players, this went off of, I didn't think they were crazy steals or anything like that, but I went with Fabian Lovett out of Florida State, defensive lineman. He is a run-stuffing defensive tackle. I just figured the Ravens do a pretty good job at developing DT. And maybe they want to get a little bit younger behind Justin Madubuike. I know we just extended Broderick Washington and Michael Pierce, but hey, get this guy in the system. If somebody goes down and we need a run stuffer, like maybe Fabian Lovett can step in. He played alongside Braden Fisk last year, who very dominant defensive lineman. Chance he goes in the first round, probably early second. So another guy where I'm just like, hey, if the Ravens can develop him, they do good at this position typically. Obviously, Broderick Washington, Justin Madubuike, Travis Jones, Michael Pierce, Brandon Williams. Ravens do good at DT. And then the final guy, another guy I draft all the time, just purely based off of potential, Anim Donkwa out of Howard. I mean, the guy's like 6'8", 6'9", 350 pounds. Develop him. Try. He's got the measurables. If you can teach him how to play tackle, like you're going to have a great player. That's like literally it. Like like the traits are he's huge. If you can teach him to play, you're going to have a dominant offensive lineman on your hands. But I think that's worth the swing. So now running back over the draft class, obviously we went 2 cornerbacks, 1 tackle, 1 guard, 2 receivers, a safety, a defensive tackle. And I think, the only position that was really missing was edge rusher. There were some options. I think round 3, I was deciding between Cooper Beebe and Xavier Thomas. Blake Fisher I chose over Chris Braswell. I'm not a huge lover of Braswell's game, and I like Blake Fisher a lot, so I felt like it was a little bit worth it. But outside of edge rusher, I think I nailed everything that the Ravens need. Again, like we're not getting like Brendan Rice isn't wide receiver 2 this year, but I think we keep Bateman, use him as wide receiver 2. Hopefully Brendan Rice after this year can become wide receiver 2. And if he doesn't, like next year, right, in the draft, maybe the Ravens are set at tackle and they're set at offensive line. And then you're looking at the first round and, hey, wide receiver, we could definitely draft a wide receiver. Or we extend Bateman. I don't know, but I think this draft was really solid. Let me know in the comment section down below your thoughts. Once again, I'm going to try and have as many reaction videos when the Ravens select their picks as possible. They come out right away. But again, I'm going to be at a wedding. I'm going to be driving down to California. So, we'll see. If the video's not out right away, it'll probably be posted the next morning, probably around 9 or 10 a.m. would be my expectation, but how I'm going to do it is if I miss the pick live, my phone's going to be completely off. I've got somebody that'll text me. I'll be like, hey, who did the Ravens take round 2? I'll record my face cam and I'll see the pick and I'll be able to give my instant reaction and analysis. So you guys still get that feel of my first knee-jerk reaction to all the selections. But thank you all so much for watching. Subscribe for more Daily Ravens content, and I'll see all of you again tomorrow.